Right, I think we're going to have a few people come in the next 5 to 10 minutes anyway. But we'll kick things off. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mitesh, and I'm the founder of Success at School. I'll be your host this evening. Tonight, I'm so excited to be partnering with Jaguar Land Rover. Jaguar Land Rover is an iconic British brand and has opportunities for you all to begin your career with apprenticeships ranging from engineering to product design and digital, and a whole host of opportunities in between. We're going to hear from Morgan in Early Careers Recruitment, who will give you all the details and opportunities on offer, and apprentices Marley and Joshua, who will be giving all their application hints, tips, and tricks. Before I turn the discussion over to Morgan, if any of you have any questions during the presentation, please submit them in the chat or on our Instagram page at Success at School, and we will address them during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. We're expecting a large number of attendees, so we'll do our best to answer as many questions as possible. Just so you know, this webinar is also being recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel at Success at School, where you can rewatch it as many times as you like. And if you've got any questions that you want to go over, you can just go there. Yeah, feel free to follow us on Instagram to hear about the latest apprenticeship opportunities and insight webinars. Morgan, over to you.
Thank you very much, and hello to everybody joining. I'm loving seeing all the hellos going in the chat. Please do use that chat to ask any questions that we've got throughout the session today. So my name's Morgan. I lead on our apprentice recruitment here at Jaguar Land Rover and lead on everything to do with schools engagement. So I'm really excited to talk to so many of you today and tell you about early careers opportunities at Jaguar Land Rover. Okay. So as you said, Jaguar Land Rover is a British multinational automotive manufacturer, and we're known for producing some of the most iconic luxury vehicles that you'll see on our roads today. And that includes the Range Rover Sport, the Defender, the Discovery, the I-Pace, and many, many more. We're the UK's largest investor in automotive engineering, development and research, and we're always pushing the boundaries of what's possible to exceed our customers' expectations. So that means we're always redefining what modern luxury means and looks like in the world of tomorrow. And that's a tomorrow that's really driven by sustainability. So that means both Jaguar and the Land Rover brands will offer pure electric power, nameplate by nameplate, by 2030. It's also our aim to achieve net zero carbon emissions across our supply chain, products and operations by 2039. And we're transforming to an electric first business. And that means that we're creating some of the most digitally advanced vehicles that you'll see. So for this, we need lots of digital skills and we need lots of apprentices to support us on our journey. And it's working because this year we are hiring a record number of apprentices. We have a really proud history of hiring apprentices, and actually there are currently over 1,000 apprentices in the business across a wide range of different programs. And this year they've been winning lots of different awards. So we've had apprentices that have been winning the Midlands Women in Technology Award, the Multicultural Apprentice of the Year Award, and lots of awards and bursaries with the Institute of Engineering and Technology, which is all about showcasing exceptional performance. So we're really excited to be talking to you today because if you are ambitious, if you want to join us on our journey and join us and help us achieve the ambitions that we've got as an organisation, then you're certainly in the right place. So if you're not too sure where we're based, we've got lots of different sites within the UK. You can see a little map here. So we are a predominantly West Midlands based employer with lots of sites within the Birmingham region and just outside in Wolverhampton in the Black Country. We produce a lot of vehicles in Solihull. We've also got a large production site in Halewood in Liverpool. And we've got a digital hub in Manchester and a lot of bases within the Midlands area as well, Gaydon and around Leamington Spa. So this is mostly where we're based. I'm going to show you this short video, which is going to tell you about early careers opportunities at Jaguar Land Rover. Okay, so that gives you a bit of a snapshot into all the exciting things that we're doing here at Jaguar Land Rover. Now, today we're going to talk to you about our apprenticeship opportunities. And as you can see, we've got two of our apprentices. We've got Joshua and we've got Marley, who I'm going to hand over to shortly to talk to you about what they do on their apprenticeships and to give you some advice. But to start with, I'll tell you a little bit about the programmes that we offer. So we have a really broad range of apprenticeship programmes here at Jaguar Land Rover, and these are from levels 3 all the way up to level 7. Now, an apprenticeship is a really great opportunity to earn and learn. So by that we mean, of course, it's a full-time job, so you will earn a salary, but at the same time you'll be studying towards industry recognised qualifications. That's a really great way for you to get into the career that you want early doors and fast track your progression in the industry that you want to work in. And we'll ask more of our apprentices later about their experiences. So looking at the programmes that we offer, so we offer a level 3 advanced apprenticeship, which we do in manufacturing and automotive. We offer a level 6 degree apprenticeship in digital and technology solutions, applied professional engineering and supply chain and logistics. And we offer a level 7 degree apprenticeship in finance as well. So I'm going to dive straight into those and tell you a little bit about these programmes. So our level 3 advanced apprenticeships are a really great opportunity for you to be working towards level 3 qualifications. A level 3 qualification is equivalent to an A-level and gaining practical skills at the same time. So here you'll be working with a college provider and you'd be applying that to 2 lines of work. You'd either work in manufacturing or you'd work in automotive. Now, manufacturing, you'd study with Make UK, and this would either be in the West Midlands or up in the Northwest in Halewood. Now, manufacturing is obviously a key part of our business. You'll be right at the production line, developing and producing some of the most iconic vehicles that we mentioned earlier. Automotive, you'd be studying with Warwickshire College, that's specifically Trident College in Leamington Spa. And here you'll work in either engine operations, special vehicle operations or design. And Marley is going to talk to you a little bit about level 3 and what she does on the level 3 automotive apprenticeship a little bit later. Then we've got our level 6 digital and technology solutions degree apprenticeship. Now, a quick reminder that a level 6 degree apprenticeship means that you will be working on your apprenticeship with us, but at the same time studying towards a degree. Now, this degree, you would be studying towards a BSc in Digital and Technology Solutions, and you do that with the University of Warwick. So obviously really well-known and recognised university. Now here, you would choose from one of 4 pathways. You would either join us as a software engineer, you could do software with data, you could do data analytics, or you could do cybersecurity. Now, as you'll note, most of these roles are different to each other. So no matter the role that you'll be doing a different set of responsibilities in the business. And just for the interest of time, it's really important that when you are applying for one of our roles, that you go onto our website, download our job descriptions, and that will go into much more detail about what it is specifically that you'll be doing. We do offer a lot of apprenticeships, so we haven't got time to go into too much detail on them today, but plenty of information on our website that you can have a little look at. We offer a level 6 applied professional engineering programme. Similarly here, you're studying towards a degree in BEng applied professional engineering, and again you do this with the University of Warwick. Now Joshua studies on this one, and Joshua studies on the product design and development pathway, which is a really great programme where you can be developing those hands-on skills and skills in computer-aided engineering, computer-aided design, and really be looking at the products in more detail. We'll talk to Joshua a little bit more about what he does a bit later. But here you could also be working in manufacturing, you could be working in electrical support, or you could be working on controls. And again, all of these different job roles will have different job responsibilities and see you working in lots of different areas of the business. But if you're on the call today and you're thinking, well, I would really like to work in the automotive sector, but I don't want to work in tech and I don't want to work in engineering, then it might be the supply chain and Logistics degree apprenticeship that seems right for you. Now, again, this is level 6, so a degree apprenticeship. And here you'd be studying towards a BSc in Supply Chain and Logistics, and you'd be doing this with Aston University. Now, Aston University is based in Birmingham, and it's one of the leaders for this course. And you'll see there's a bit of a theme here. We work with providers that are really giving you quality experience. So you're developing those excellent qualifications at the same time as applying it to the work that you do with us. Now, supply chain and logistics is a really interesting area to work in because you'll be helping us get all the parts that we need to make our vehicles and make our business a success. And they've got to arrive at the right place at the right time. And that requires a real key skill set. So on this apprenticeship programme, you'll find yourself working in 4 areas, rotating around the business. And that will either be working in any of the 4 areas you can see here. So supply chain, operations and logistics. You could be working on our new products, which is super exciting. You could be working in the strategy, or you could be working in the planning area. And last but not least, we offer a level 7 finance degree apprenticeship. Now, level 7 is actually equivalent to a master's level qualification. So it's at 1 stage higher than level 6. And here you'll be, again, working with us in the business, but you'll be studying towards chartered management accountancy qualifications. And you do that with BPP University, again in Birmingham. So this is a really great opportunity for those who like maths, who like financial planning or statistics, and really looking at strategy, because without a strong finance team, we're not going to be a very successful business. So we're looking for people with real key skills in this area to come and join us on that level 7 finance degree apprenticeship. Okay, so it's really worth noting that all of these programs require different entry grades. This is a snapshot for each of our programs here, but what I'd encourage you to do is to go onto our website, have a look at our entry criteria and see if this is applicable for you. You will note that we are looking for A-level maths in our degree level apprenticeships, except for the supply chain. And that's because our apprenticeship programs do have a really high numerical content. So that's really important to us. But it's not just about your grades, because when you're making an application to apprenticeship, it's also worth noting that you should do your research into the organisation. You should be prepared to explain why you're applying for the role and give us some examples as to why you think you fit our organisation. And of course, it's not about your experience. It is about your potential with us. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about application process at the end. So just before we move over to Marley, I think is going to start, we're going to talk to you just quickly about the benefits of an apprenticeship. Now, for many of you on the call, I really hope that this isn't the first time you've heard about an apprenticeship, but if it is, don't worry, because there's really great opportunities for you with an apprenticeship route if you do decide to take this route. Of course, an apprenticeship is a full-time role, so it is a job role that you'll be taking with us, and that means you'll earn a salary. And our salaries are pretty competitive. So for our level 3 advanced apprenticeships, we're looking at around £15,000 on your first year, which is a starting salary. And for our degree apprenticeships and level 7, it's up to £24,000 as your starting salary. So again, a higher salary for the higher level apprenticeship. And to give you a bit of an idea, about 80% of our degree apprentices relocate from all around the country. So if you're somebody who lives where we don't have a site, or perhaps we don't offer an apprenticeship, that increased salary will really help you if you decide to move. And we can see that because that's why we've got so many apprentices who relocate. Of course, it's a really great way to fast track your career. So if you're somebody who is really just done with the classroom and wants to get out and experience the world of work, then I'll definitely encourage you to consider an apprenticeship. And of course, you get all of the benefits of working for a large organisation like Jaguar Land Rover, high street discounts on buying a vehicle, great holiday allowance, volunteering opportunities. You do get up to 16 hours paid volunteering leave a year, which is great if you want to pursue your kind of interests outside of work, and much, much more from that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But I'm going to hand over to Marley now to talk a little bit about what you do, Marley.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. I hope everyone can hear me. So yeah, my name's Marley. I'm a level 3 apprentice. I work currently in design, and I've been based there since I started. Um, I started in 2020, so it was the middle of COVID, which was interesting to say the least, but I had a great joining experience regardless of everything else that was happening throughout the world. So yeah, I chose Jaguar Land Rover because I didn't feel like university was for me. I completed my A levels, and I actually did quite well, and I was really happy. But I got to the summer and I realised that university wasn't for me. So I looked elsewhere and I found apprenticeships, and I applied to Jaguar Land Rover, and obviously I was successful in my application. But I really enjoy an apprenticeship because it's a really good balance between hands-on experience and still a classroom-based experience. Um, Lots and lots of different activities to get involved in. Things like this, talking to you guys, lots of early careers opportunities, but equally lots within the company as well. Obviously, like I said, I work in design, so I see a lot of our upcoming products, lots of future cars, and a lot of those bring a lot of exciting experiences. So being able to join in on car launches and watching the products being launched to the public is a really, really exciting part of my job. Um, what have I enjoyed the most? That's a really hard question. Obviously, I've been with the company for 3 years now, and there's been lots and lots of things to enjoy, but seeing the new Range Rover being launched to the public was a really exciting opportunity for me. It was a car that I saw the end of being produced and designed by our team, and to see it launched and being received so well by the public was really, really exciting. But yeah, challenging at the same time. It was a lot going from being in school, sort of 9 till 3, 4 o'clock every day, into a working environment was never going to be easy, and I don't think anyone should expect it to be easy. Luckily, on a level 3 course, your first year is predominantly in college, so you do Monday to Friday in college pretty much all year for your first year, apart from your school holidays. So you join your team for the October half term. After starting in September, you then get 2 weeks off at Christmas, but then you'd be back in for the February and the Easter holidays. And then from the summer, you will join your team pretty much full time to start your second year in September. So it was a big challenge, and it was a big step up to go from that everyday learning experience to being thrown into a working environment. But your team and everyone else that you have through college is really, really supportive. So don't be put off, but equally be prepared to put in some hard work. I think, yeah, that would probably be my top tip, actually. Don't be afraid of hard work. Be really, really confident in yourself. The application process isn't easy, and I think Joshua will probably back me up on that, but it's not an easy process to go through. It's a long process, and if you are lucky enough to, or successful in your application, then you should be confident in yourself already that what you know you can do and what you've shown already is what's got you in there. So that would really be a top tip for me. Be confident in yourself. So yeah, if
Super, thank
anyone's
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Marley. There'll be people with questions, I'm sure, so please do type away, and we will have plenty of time for questions at the end. Thank you, Marley. And Joshua, over to you.
Hello. Hopefully everyone can hear me as well. So yeah, I'm Joshua. I've joined the Level 6 degree apprenticeship program for the Applied Professional Engineering program at JLR. So this is a 4-year course. I'm in the first year currently. So I came from doing A levels. I did A level maths, physics, and design and technology. The A level maths is what really helps. It's like a requirement really if you want to do any degree apprenticeship at JLR. So if there's anyone out there thinking of doing it, make sure that if you are, you do choose A-level maths because I'll help you. But yeah, so I really joined JLR, the apprenticeship program, because the whole like thought of uni and like that sort of way of learning didn't really work with me. I've been more of a kind of like a hands-on person. I would like to apply what I learn to, physically to projects that I'm actually working on. So that kind of drove me to pursue an apprenticeship. And then at Jaguar Land Rover as well, it's such a reputable brand, and there's lots of good benefits from joining. So that really just made me want to join. So usually during the day I get involved in various activities. I'm currently working on some little projects here and there, as well as doing some CAD working, which is computer aided design. So I do lots of work with 3D models and all that things. I think I have enjoyed quite a lot. There's quite a lot that you will enjoy because every day is kind of different. You're not really stuck. It doesn't feel too repetitive. There's lots of different things that you work on, especially with your team and your managers as well. And that's really just helpful to just keep everything fresh so it doesn't feel too boring or draining to you. But I think what I've enjoyed the most has to be the extracurricular stuff. So we do have extra programs such as the ELS, where you get to choose different courses that you can want to do, maybe, and you get funded for some of those courses that you can do in your spare time. So currently, I'm going to be partaking in one of them, which is a drive. Actually, you get to drive one of the new Jaguar cars. So that's great fun. I think it's in October for me, so I'm looking forward to that. So there's lots of benefits to that, as well as all the networking and meeting new other apprentices as well that you're going to be working with. But what I've found most challenging, similar to Morgan, is coming from A level to the working environment, it is quite a jump. Working from 9 to 4, every day, it is quite can be quite difficult to adapt to. And with the degree apprenticeship, it's block release for the uni that we have. So you're not at uni all the time. It's usually for a 1 week every month, about with a couple lessons here and there. So I think going from A levels to straight into the work environment can be quite a difficult jump. But I think there's lots of support. You get lots of support from both your manager as well as from or the university lecturers, and you get lots of help and guidance. So you don't need to worry too much about struggling to adapt to the new situation that you might find yourselves in. But I think my top tip for anyone who wants to go into an apprenticeship is that you don't need to worry about not knowing a lot of things beforehand, because the whole aim of the apprenticeship is that you learn on the job. There's lots of things that you'll learn over the years. So going in, you don't need to know everything that course has to offer. So because of that, don't be hesitant to ask questions to whoever you might be working with, because everyone's there to support you and to help you grow as a person. So I think my top tip is just to be willing to learn, because there's lots that you're going to learn and there's lots that you won't know. So I think that will really help you to keep going and to grow as a person within the apprenticeship. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Joshua, and to you, Marley, as well. We are going to have time for questions, as I keep saying, so please do. Any questions that our apprentices can talk to you about their experiences, why they applied, all these kind of things, what's the application process like. These are kind of things that they're going to be able to answer for you today. So please do take the opportunity to ask anything you want to ask. Okay. So back to me, I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of things around the support available for apprentices. Now, it's important to remember that our apprenticeship programs are, of course, as both Marley and Joshua have said, they're tough, but if you're prepared to put in the work and you're somebody who really wants to develop your career, then apprenticeships are a great opportunity. But remember what I said at the start, we've got currently over 1,000 apprentices learning with us and working with us in the business at this very moment. So we're really used to hiring apprentices, which means that we've got a fantastic support network around to support you and help you succeed. The great thing as well is that actually the majority of our managers were actually apprentices themselves too. So they know what it was like to have gone through the process, and they're certainly there and a part of your journey. So talking to you on that slide there, it talks a little bit about the support network. So there's you in the middle of that little diagram, you the apprentice, but you're not on your own because you'll always have your line manager. Anybody who joins the business is given somebody who will be there for them, and that's the person you would speak to about your day-to-day activities. They'll support and guide you, grow you, and they're the person you go to if you need to talk about your workload or really get help or mentorship to help you learn what you're doing. You've also got these cohort leaders. Now, you can see their pictures on the side of the screen there. Your cohort leaders are the people that go between you, your line manager, and your education provider. And they're there to really support you no matter what the question. So it might be that you're struggling to understand something as part of your work. It might be that you're feeling a little bit lost or confused, or perhaps you're struggling with your workload. Or it might be that you've got a deadline coming up at university or at college, and you really just don't know how to manage it. Your cohort leader is the person that you go to for all of these types of questions. And believe me, there isn't really anything that they haven't helped an apprentice with. So they're there to support you the whole way through that journey, and they're really good at their job. So they'll be there to support you on your apprenticeship. Another thing that's really important to remember is that Jaguar Land Rover is an equal employer, and we really champion diversity and inclusion in the workforce. An inclusive environment is key to that and growth and development. So we want to, of course, foster a culture that is representative of societies and the customers that we serve, and a place where you can really feel that you are able to be your authentic self and have the confidence knowing that we care about it. So there are lots of great opportunities for you to get in part of diversity and inclusion networks here at Jaguar Land Rover. Here's a slide with some of the networks that we've got. So you can see there are networks that are available not just as an apprentice, but anybody in the business. So we've got our Pride network, we've got our Reach network, which is our Race, Ethnicity and Cultural Heritage network. We've got a Shine Disability Network, we've got a Women Engineering Network, we've got loads of different networks, and they are our networks to provide advocacy within the business, and also just to channel thoughts, look for progression, looking for opportunities to promote causes that these networks are passionate about, not just internally but externally as well. So this is something that as an apprentice you have the opportunity to get involved in. And for example, our Race, Ethnicity and Cultural Heritage Network, they recently did a large campaign which was within the business, and two of our current apprentices, Paris and Beverly, they hosted Anthony Joshua on site at Gaydon, and they did a big network as part of the Reach network. So lots of opportunity that comes via this route too, which is great. So to summarise, I'm going to talk to you about our application process. Now, if you have liked what you've heard today, our application process for roles starting in the business in September 2023 are open now. So if you're in year 11 or you're in year 13 and you'd like to make an application, now's your time to do it. If you're in year 10 or year 12, or perhaps you're somebody who's listening, you're a career changer, obviously our roles are open at January to March, generally speaking. But if you're interested in our applications, you should get your applications in sooner rather than later, because we may reserve the right to close those roles if we hit the number that we need to. So we're looking at application process. It is a nice straightforward and streamlined application process, which will start with an online application form. We'll ask you to complete some short questions, and there isn't a need to apply with a CV or cover letter. So please don't spend time on that, because lots of people tell us, well, I'll still apply with a CV and cover letter. We don't look at them. So really, please don't. And it speeds up your application, which is always good. There is a motivational question on there, which is asking you why you apply. So take your time on that. We do see some one-word answers in there, and that's not quite strong enough for us. So we need you to really consider the reasons why you're applying. At this point, you're then sent some online tests to complete. Now, these are 4 short online tests that you'll do within a 5-day window of having been sent the link. There's a numerical test, a verbal test, a situational test, and a personality test. And like I say, you do this online in your own time, complete them, and then we get those results back. Now, it's really important that you try and aim for the best score possible on this, because that's going to determine whether you progress through the rest of the application stage. There is a practice area on our website, and you can see it's linked on the slides there. If you go to our apprentice page, click application process, it's at the bottom. You'll see it on stage 2. That's an area for you to access totally free of charge and play around with as many times as you want to. So my top tip is don't let the first time you do those online tests be the time that really counts. It does take some playing around with, and I'm sure apprentices, you found this, they're a bit fiddly. So please do your research and play around. We will never see, even if that goes horrendously wrong on those practice areas, we'll never see those. So try your best at those. Like I said, it's about the best score there. And then you're invited to the assessment centre. This is a virtual half-day assessment centre that we do on Microsoft Teams. And here we'll ask you to do a presentation. We'll give you a title to present on, and you'll need to develop some slides at least a week before you are invited to your assessment centre. You get the date. You'll have a break, then you'll come back and you'll do a motivational and behavioural interview. Now, we often do lots of webinars about the assessment centre, so please do look at our events calendar on our Jaguar Land Rover Early Careers website. And if you get to this stage, you'll want to sign up for one of those so we can really help you. And then after that, if you pass your assessment centre, you're made the offer. So it's nice and streamlined, and you will find out your results pretty soon as you work your way through the process. Okay, so here's Katie with a really short video about her top tips. Okay, so a nice short, sharp video there, but it's really important that you follow Katie's advice. Of course, when you're applying, you do need to make sure that you are applying for just one programme. Okay, so that's really important. You have to make sure that it's just one application for one programme that you're making a year. So do your research before you apply and make sure you're applying for the programme that you really want to work for. That's important. Reread your application and make sure that all of your fields are complete. We still get people applying every day with an application form that they've not filled in all of the fields for. And that's just going to unfortunately mean that we have to reject your application. So please do take time to make sure you're reviewing your application before you submit. Make sure that it's complete, make sure there's no errors, do those practice tests. Most importantly, do your research on Jaguar Land Rover. We've given you a bit of a flavour today, but there's so much more research you can do. And it's all about apply soon as possible. Our roles are really quite popular, which is great. We wouldn't want you to miss out to them. So if you're thinking of making an application this year, apply as soon as possible. Okay, and that's pretty much all from us. There are some social channels that you can find us on, and encourage you to do that after today. But I'm going to stop talking so we've got time for questions.
Thank you very much, Morgan. There's been a lot of questions. So we're going to try and get through as many as we can. We've got about 10 minutes. Thank you, by the way, Marley and Joshua, for your insight as well. What I'm going to try and do is try and make the questions a bit progressive. So we're going to try and lead up from like school up to like the actual apprenticeship itself. There's been a few questions around, well, actually, it was mentioned like work experience and, you know, what you need to do to stand out. Firstly, I think, Morgan, a question for you. Do Jaguar Land Rover offer work experience?
At this time, we don't offer work experience. However, we are doing lots of things with providers like yourselves to provide insights into what it's like to work at Jaguar Land Rover. And we are offering a number of experience days as well at our sites. All of these are available to book onto by going to our events calendar on our Early Careers website. But what I'd say is if you're looking at getting work experience because you think it's an essential part of our application process, we don't recruit based off experience. It's all about your potential. So we won't look for you to have work experience. We don't mind at all if you've never worked a day in your life. If you've done a project at school, or if you have watched something and it's really sparked your interest, whatever it might be, that's what we want you to tell us about. We don't need you to have had this work experience. And there are lots of people think, oh, I must get work experience because it's the only way I'm going to get shortlisted. That's not true at all. So don't worry about that. It's all about your potential.
Okay, talking of potential and standing out, this is for the apprentices. What do you think you had on your application form that made you stand out?
What made me stand out? Well, it was slightly different when I applied. Obviously, like I said, I applied a few years ago and it has changed slightly. So I did do work experience, but for you guys now, I think it would be like Morgan said about that potential and how you work as an individual, but also how you work as a team. And do include examples in how you've done that, through school or through projects that you've done outside of, your hobbies and things like that. But yeah, it would definitely be what potential you can give and what you can bring to the company as well.
Yeah, I'd say a similar thing. It's I think a lot of what I talked about was more about, little projects that I was working on and how I can use like what I've learned and the skills within the apprenticeship and how I can, learn more. I think that's kind of what, we're looking for. We're looking to see someone who's willing to learn more and actually, improve themselves. So I think that's a good skill and a main driving force, really.
Great, thank you for that. So we spoke about applying at year 11 and year 13. So quick question for you. Do you have to be a certain age to apply for apprenticeships?
No, our apprenticeships are open for anybody at any age, and that involves anybody who's on the call that might be in a job currently and think I want to change careers. We've got a really broad range of applicants to our program, so no age limits.
On to the next question, which is, we get asked this all the time, so I'm just going to reiterate it, even though you guys have said it. So maths was mentioned as a subject to take quite a lot. So we can assume that if you're going to do any degree level apprenticeship, I think Joshua said this, that you probably need maths. Are there any other subject requirements for apprenticeships at Jaguar Land Rover that you could just highlight again, if
Yeah,
at all?
absolutely. So it's really worth going on to each of our, it's different for every program that you apply to, but maths, further maths, physics, anything with numerical, science-based, statistics, economics, these kind of courses are quite good if you're going into particularly our degree apprenticeships. But have a look for each of the different programs. I mean, like I said, the supply chain and logistics degree apprenticeship doesn't have an A-level maths requirement, but we are looking for a course that is numerical. So that could be something like an economics or something like that. But the best bet is to go on to the pathway that you want to apply to and really have a look and see if you be eligible. Any questions, because it can be difficult. There's lots of different courses out there and sometimes it's a bit of a minefield for us to try and navigate to. So if you can't quite understand from our entry criteria, email us at apprent, APPRENT, at jaguarlandrover.com. Tell us about the courses you're studying, the program you want to apply for, and we'll try our best to help you.
Okay, great. So another one for you, Morgan. How many apprenticeships do you have on offer per annum, approximately?
We get asked this question a lot. So we are taking a record number of apprentices this year. So be over 300 joining us, which is amazing. We're really excited to have so many more apprentices joining us in the business. But some people say, well, gosh, that doesn't seem as many. we are hiring a lot of apprentices compared to other organisations, which obviously is great, and definitely the business tells us how much they love apprentices, and that's great. Well, you can see that with the record number of apprentices that we're taking on this year. Don't be put off though by how many spaces that we've got in our programs. Each program will have a different hiring demand, and sometimes people will ask me, well, how many are there on supply chain logistics or whatever? Don't worry about it. Let us do that worrying. If you're interested in the role, apply, because the way that our recruitment process works is that obviously we seek out the students the applicants who are really showing that potential. So it's not about your grades. It's not about if you're on track to get an A star versus somebody who's getting a B or whatever it might be. It is about your potential. So show that to us, and don't let kind of the numbers put you off, because if you don't apply, you never know.
Right. Thank you. There's been like a lot of questions about what makes the ideal candidate. And I mean, we tried to answer that a little bit earlier, so I'm going to ask it in a slightly different way. Hopefully, this will help everyone understand it and give you an insight of like what you might learn on the apprenticeship. So this is to Marley and Joshua. Whilst you've been on the apprenticeship, what skills have you learned? And I don't mean like, you know, product design skills, etc. Like on the job skills. I mean, what off the job skills have you learned?
I think as someone that came obviously straight from school, and I know this will apply to Joshua, being paid a salary was a really big learning curve for me, having to learn how to budget and how to make sure I had enough money at the end of every week and at the end of every month, because as a level 3 apprentice, you are paid weekly as well. That's probably another thing that maybe is slightly different to the other apprenticeship programs. We are paid weekly, so being able to put that money aside and budget for the whole month was quite an interesting process for me to learn. So I'd say budgeting was really one of the main ones that I've learned along the way.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, we get paid monthly, so yeah, budgeting is quite important. But I think for me it was more, I think learning about like transport, lots of transport links, because at first I didn't have a car, so trying to learn about the trains and the coaches and all that to get to work was quite new to me, because most of the things that I've been going to before were quite close to me. So I think just being able to learn more about the transport links and transportation was a skill I had to learn.
Great. Thank you. So one other thing I think might be worth, letting everyone on the webinar know is what kind of extracurricular activities do you guys participate in? And this also answers another question. Do you have to work on weekends?
Yeah, no, you don't have to work on weekends. For me, there's different ones. So currently I've done go-karting with some of the other apprentices. I have that drive that I have later on in October. I'm also planning to do blacksmithing as well sometime soon. So there's quite a lot of different activities that you can get involved in as well.
Yeah, the ELS scheme, which I'm guessing is what you're using to
Yeah.
learn how to
Yeah.
is a really incredible scheme, to be honest. You get a budget from the company every year that you can use to go and learn a new skill, so like Joshua said, but you can also apply it to the company itself. So I've used the money to go and drive our cars off-road and on the track and things like that. So it was a really great experience to see how everything works and get to actually drive what we make. So yeah.
There's thank you for that. There's quite a few questions about what happens at the end of an apprenticeship. So do you get offered a job straight away at the end of the apprenticeship? Do people stay, and do you have to stay for a certain amount of time afterwards? I've kind of bulked them all into one question.
So how it works is when you apply for an apprenticeship, the great thing about apprenticeships is when you actually apply, we already know the role you're going to be doing when you finish in 4 years' time. All our programs are 4 years in length. Now that's great, because there's no need for you to have to reapply again. All you need to do is pass your apprenticeship at the end of the 4 years, and you will continue your journey with Jaguar Land Rover. One day you'll be an apprentice, next day you won't be. So it's seamless. It's really effective from that perspective. Of course, the role that you will roll into will be the role that you have mostly been doing as part of your apprenticeship. So you'll already have an idea as to role that you're going into. And if you're listening to this webinar and you're thinking, well, I want to go into this specific role, our job descriptions will give you an indication as to the areas and the job roles that you might work in the future, because each job role will be very different depending on the apprenticeship program and pathway, that's the word I'm looking for, pathway that you apply for. So have a look at our job descriptions, because that's going to help you really. Marley, I know you're kind of closest to coming to the end of your program. Josh, you've only just joined us, so you've got a little way to go yet. But do you want to tell us about how you think that's going to work?
Yeah, so like you say, it is a very seamless process that everyone tries to make it as easy as possible, as it can become a little bit of a stressful time finishing your course and tying up all loose ends and things like that whilst also working. So into my 4th year, I will start my MVQ, which is the qualification that I'll receive at the end of it from my learning provider. But once I've finished my MVQ, I will also, I'm not sure if this is just my department or if this is company wide, but I will do a interview. So whilst I will go straight into my current job role as it is listed rather than as an apprentice, I do have to do an interview. I think this is more of a formality, but
Yes.
it is still expected of you.
Also helps with your progression, to be honest, Marley. I know this is something you won't want to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, I'm conscious that we're 5 minutes over, so I'm going to end it with one last question to both the apprentices. And it's, what's been your most memorable moment at Jaguar Land Rover so far? And Marley, I know you mentioned a product launch, so you get to give us 2.
Oh, okay. Give you 2. Yeah, I mean, the Range Rover launch was particularly special for me. But, you might have to go to Joshua. You might have to come back to me in a minute. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'd say it was probably when I went on a visit to one of our suppliers. So we did a supplier visit. So where we looked at one of our suppliers who made plastic parts for the cars. So I think that was quite memorable, because I got to actually see more of like the inside processes and or like the little details and machines that they use, and I think that was quite interesting to see. So I'd say that's probably one of my highlights currently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you'd like a second one, then I'd probably have to go with one of the track days that they put on for us. So we got to drive the both the F-Pace and the F-Type SVR, and it was a really, really cool experience. As like I said, I design and make these cars and do all of this every day in, day out, but actually to get to sit and drive around the track at 150, 160 mile an hour was a really, really cool experience.
You can't do that in every organisation, can you?
No, definitely not. And there are many, many perks to this job, and that is definitely one of them.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for being such great hosts, and thank you for everyone that attended. I hope you found the session really useful. You've got Jaguar Land Rover's socials there. If you follow us on @Success at School on YouTube and Instagram, we'll have some insights for you there, and hopefully we'll see you on more webinars. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.